So you want to know what you should ask your family law attorney, whether that's going to be in a free consultation that you're having with an attorney or during an intake if you've already hired one. And I have several pieces of advice for you. So feel free to take notes. I should say as a quick disclaimer that this is not legal advice. It's just FYI for your information only. And watching this video does not create an attorney-client relationship between us. So the first thing is, if you're going through a divorce, there are a number of issues that you're going to want to discuss. Bottom line is you want to make sure that the attorney you're talking to is clear about your goals and can give you advice about those goals and if they are realistic. To get there, there are a number of legal issues that come up in divorce. If you have children, then obviously child custody and visitation are key. In California, we are a 50-50 state. What that means is, unless it can be proven otherwise, the court is going to assume that it's in the child's best interest that the parents have joint legal and physical custody. Legal custody means decision-making power. Physical custody means whose address the child is going to have. And then visitation, in California, unless it can be proven otherwise, the courts are going to assume that it's in the children's best interest that they share an even timeshare with the parents. And you are in the best position to inform your attorney if that is not in your child or children's best interest and why. And then your attorney can tell you if your reasons are solid or not. If it's just because they are with a new partner that you don't like, that's a pretty weak reason, unless, that partner is, you can prove, on drugs or in some way a danger to your child. However, something like, my ex just got his or her third DUI this month, that's probably a pretty significant red flag that you would want to discuss with your attorney. Another issue that comes up in divorce that needs to be resolved is the division of assets and debts. That's everything from the bank accounts to the retirement, the pension, the Social Security, life insurance, businesses, anything that you obtained during the marriage is presumed to be community property. And there are exceptions to every rule, right? So inheritance, for example, is always separate property. And then the same with debts. Any debts that are accumulated during the marriage is going to be presumed community property as well. And there are exceptions to that rule. For instance, student loans. Student loans, you always take those with you. Those are always separate. And there are even exceptions to that rule. So you really want to give your family law attorney a very clear picture of your financial circumstances and that of your family while you were married. Another issue that comes up is going to be child and spousal support. If you have kids, child support is a pretty standard calculation across the board. The two biggest factors that affect child support are going to be the respective incomes of the parties and the timeshare of the children. And then there are all different, minute details that may affect the support by just a few dollars. So you definitely want to give your attorney a clear picture of your income and your liabilities. What are you paying on a monthly basis? Because the calculator for child support uses basically your cash flow of both you and the other parent to determine what a fair and equitable support figure is. Spousal support is, not required like child support usually is. But the general rule is that if you can, especially if there's a large disparagement between the incomes of the parties. So, if you were a stay-at-home parent and your spouse is a CEO of a large company in San Francisco, you probably have a pretty good claim for spousal support. Now, if you were a domestic violence abuser, you're probably not going to get spousal support. So like I said, there are exceptions to every rule, but spousal support is definitely something that you're going to want to discuss with your family law attorney whether you are looking to be the recipient or the payor of the spousal support, you definitely want to talk to your lawyer about how he or she can best represent your interests in that issue. And then the other issue that I would talk to your family law attorney about is attorney's fees. Who is going to pay for whose attorney's fees? Again, if you are a stay-at-home parent and you haven't worked in 10 years and your the other parent sort of budgets and has access to all of the money and makes all of the money and has the big fancy job, then you need to have good legal counsel just like your ex does. And so a request for attorney's fees may be due. Your attorney may want to request those, or it may be requested that you pay the other person's attorney's fees. And so you're going to want to let your attorney know about specifically your financial situation and that of your the other party, so that your attorney can best advise you on what to expect. Really go through your goals with your family law attorney. Make sure that your goals align with your attorney's goals and expectations, and that your attorney is giving you realistic expectations. Be wary of the attorney that promises you the moon. I always tell my clients that I cannot guarantee an outcome and I don't have a crystal ball. That said, I am going to fight tooth and nail to get them the best possible outcome for all of the issues that I've just discussed. The last issue that you're going to want to make sure you discuss with your family law attorney is his or her retainer fee and hourly rate. A retainer fee is a lump sum that most, if not all, attorneys require before they'll start working with you. Those funds sit in the attorney-client trust account, and the office withdraws from that account as it earns those fees. If you go through your entire proceeding and you're done and there's still money left over, that attorney will write you a check and give you that money back. However, on the flip side, if you go through all of your funds and the issues are still not resolved, you will have to replenish that fee. And the attorney has no control over, well, for the most part, can't really control always how these proceedings go. Sometimes they get continued on the court's own motion. And so just be aware of that and budget accordingly. You also want to find out if your attorney's office has a support staff. At my office, we have a paralegal. I also have a junior associate. My hourly rate is $400 an hour, but my associates is only $250, and my paralegals is only $50. So when we get someone who is super budget conscientious, we work really closely with that person to give a lot of the legwork to our paralegals and junior associates, so that, and then we save all of the, heavy duty lifting for me, so that we really push the client's dollar as far as it will go, while still I check over everything that leaves our office to make sure that it's of the caliber of my name. So if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Again, there is no attorney-client relationship here, but I'm happy to answer any general questions you might have. If you'd like to schedule a consultation, a free consultation, I've put my phone number in the description box below, and I've also put my email there, so you can feel free to email me as well. Whatever the case may be, I wish you the very best outcome with your family law matter, and thanks for watching.